What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how are you on this special Saturday morning edition of the Wrestling Junkies?
Saturday morning, bright and early. It is 9:30 as we are speaking. Very excited to talk to you this morning. We have a lot of fun stuff later tonight, but we wanted to preview the Fastlane card for everybody out there and just kind of give our predictions on it and what we think is gonna happen.
Yeah, we definitely would have done this yesterday, but technology kicked our asses, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a squash match. That's just we were a local talent, and that's it.
Ryback destroyed us.
Hey,
Yeah,
leave him. Okay,
It was
that's
the
another
2-on-1
name.
handicap match.
That's another name that goes on the list of 0 day. Okay, we keep
No.
Yeah, no.
He's not as bad as the other one. He's
Okay.
not. But first, before we get into the Fastlane card, I have two pieces of news. Did you see them?
No. I've been awake for 45 minutes, and I've talked to you for most of it. So,
All right. So the first piece of news was Brian Alvarez was reporting that Undertaker may show up on NXT. If Undertaker shows up on NXT, NXT is back on the big TV. I don't know which Undertaker.
that Undertaker.
I don't know which one, but
Okay, but
know,
the same guy, the guy, that guy,
Undertaker. Yes.
Oh,
There
wow.
are discussions about having the Undertaker come in and do an appearance on NXT on Tuesday. You want to talk about bringing the big guns out for WWE?
That's the one thing I love about wrestling especially when it comes to like counter programming and big cards like this. At what point is it counter programming, and then at what point does it become pettiness?
It's.
I love it. I love it. It's
all
just
the way there. It is all the way there.
okay.
You know
all
what?
right. Okay.
Triple
Mark
H is
Callis
sitting back on that tank that they rode into WCW and going, "Let's go. You want to compete? Let's go." And I love it. I mean,
The only thing that he's missing is a stuffed giraffe.
Will that make an appearance on Tuesday night? We will see.
I think that it will. I think that it will. Okay, so that's a big piece of news. Number one. What we got for number two?
The other one's pretty big too. The other piece of news is I don't know if you saw Meltzer's report about a certain chick magnet that is in discussions with WWE to return for the
I heard
Chicago
about that. I was
Survivor
just going to
Series.
ignore that. Whatever. Yeah.
We have to talk about it, dude. We have to talk about it. That's big. No matter what you say or what your feelings are, that's pretty big.
It does seem like a larger likelihood than, especially because Merce YT, his video yesterday is what if the Straight Edge Society reformed in WWE? Like, I get it. Not sure that I was crazy about Omos being in it, but
you're just not crazy about Omos. That's your problem.
I am not.
So if that happens and say he's back, you can do Rock and Roman at Mania, and you can do Cody and Punk at Mania. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome.
I was promised that a story would be finished.
It's not. If Rock's coming back, it's not. You know that. And Roman's probably going to win.
Yeah, but writers are back to work in Hollywood, so...
Okay. What did WWE just sell for? Hey,
Billions
Dwayne, here's
billions.
$50 million. Come work for 20 minutes.
I just...
I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
you're gonna put over your family.
I don't know. I mean, people... It seems like the rumor of him even being in Perth for Elimination Chamber was shot down pretty quickly. It was convenient to have Cena and Rock show up at the times that they did because there was literally nothing else for them to do.
Mm-hmm. But you don't think Rock got goosebumps coming back out? Maybe he got.
I'm sure he did.
Got a little bit of the itch back. Like, let me do one more.
I'm sure that he did. But what is different about when he did this the other night? And then 4 years ago with Becky Lynch to do the same thing.
We'll see. I'm just saying.
I guess we will. I guess we will.
Have an open mind.
You know that I will, okay? You know that I will.
I know.
It's just...
I know. All right, you ready?
I'm pessimistic.
With that piece of news all gone.
Yep.
You ready to get into Fastlane?
I am, because now you got me all hot. Now I'm just trying to, like, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Fastlane prediction show. We will be in the house at Fastlane tonight. How awesome is that going to be, Troops?
I am so excited. This is our second PLE of the year. It is right in Indianapolis is a quick little drive. Not as bad as Detroit, but man, I am so
No.
excited for this. I have been
Let's
listening
go.
to theme songs all morning.
I love it. I got my Red Bulls ready.
Yeah, I don't drink the Red Bulls, but I will. I will have a couple Celsius on tap.
There you go. There you go. Good for you. Good for you. Start with this one. LWO, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and a mystery opponent are going to be taking on Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. It seems like the Street Profits heel turns full swing. This is where they're going to go with it.
Yep.
I mean, perfect pairing for all of these guys. A lot for them to have some fun with. The real question is, who's Ray going to call on? He said last night on SmackDown, let me make a phone call. You and I talked about this a little bit and kind of threw some names out there. Dragon Lee was the first one because it seems like he's been quietly called up to SmackDown, having been on Raw last week and now SmackDown last night. So,
yep.
I mean, at this point, yes, that's a name. And I think that you thought that was a possibility, but I threw another one out there. Carlito. I mean, as far as we know, he's back, but there's been no real plan for anything that they could do with him. I mean, this would be a perfect fit. That pop in Puerto Rico was massive, and everybody loved to see him. He looked great. I personally could see Carlito being that third man for them tonight. What do you think?
Well, you threw another name out there too, and I want you to kind of expand on that idea.
Yeah, let me go back to our chats here. You got the better
he was also
memory.
in Puerto Rico against Damian Priest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I sorry. It's
okay.
It's early. Yeah, Bad Bunny. I mean, that would be a very out of left field surprise. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that you could go wrong with any of those names, but that would have an instant, especially when Chambea hits and everybody just loses it. Just lose it, which, you're going to be sitting next to me. So if Chambea hits, I'm probably going to lose it. So just, fair warning.
Yeah, I could see this opening tonight and kind of get the surprise out of the way, start the crowd hot, whether that is, if it does open, I would say we're more likely to see Carlito because I think you want to get that pop. I don't know how much of the crowd is going to pop for a Dragon Lee, even though he has been on TV. He has been kind of seen on the main roster a lot, and obviously the feud with Dominic and all that good stuff. But I don't know if that's the one that's going to get the huge pop for you if you are going to open with it. I would like to see long-term wise. I think Dragon Lee would be a great fit in LWO. I think that would make the most sense logically, but we are talking about wrestling, and there is no logic in wrestling. So
not always.
I really like the Carlito idea, and I think that's the guy I'm going to go with.
Okay. Yeah, I think Carlito is the safe choice. I'm going to make the safe choice today, but we're going to be in the building regardless. So if it's Carlito, I'm going to be happy. If it's Dragon Lee, it's like, okay, fine, like whatever. I think the only reason that Dragon Lee is, the lowest on the list for me is because Ray specifically said, let me go make a call. Dragon Lee had already competed on SmackDown that night. There could have been another way to, he just walks up and says, hey, like, you need a third guy, I'm your guy. But if they're going to go into this with the suspense of it, I think it's, Carlito, Bad Bunny make the most sense.
Is there anybody else do you think we're missing? Like, who has been associated with Ray? Like, I can't.
Well, one guy calls him a deadbeat dad. The other was told to go F himself by his former best friend 3 days ago.
Yep, it won't be him.
Or him.
Like, I'm like RVD, probably not. Like, I know they've tagged before.
This is another left field one. And I certainly have no idea what ring shape he is in, but Conan?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm just is there any I don't know. I don't think there is. Like, I want to say maybe Randy, but I don't think this is where you would return Randy. No,
not in the middle of this. I personally wouldn't.
Because I think they have a bigger plan for the main event scene that we saw close Friday night. Because Team Cena is down one person.
They are.
It also
I
is
call
in
him
Chicago.
Cody and Co, but whatever. Oh.
Tell me you would not pop for that. You would. I would too.
Look,
we are wrestling fans at the end of the day.
We are. I know.
If we're on the countdown of War Games and we're waiting for the 5th member of Team Cody, and all of a sudden that Living Color song.
But dude, that's why I threw out the 3 v Bloodline v Judgment Day v Cody and Co. Because I definitely don't see this alliance lasting too terribly long.
No,
Not at all. Because
but
and I guess we're going to be
if
all over the place for this show. Sorry.
you're going to sit
Go
there
ahead.
and say, we want to program real hard against AEW, what better way to do it and go, hey, you failed with CM Punk. Let's show you how to really do it. Like that is a kick in the teeth to Tony Khan, is it not?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that it is.
I think it would bruise
I don't
Tony
think
Khan's
that it is.
ego.
His company is significantly better now that he's not there.
Dude, can you imagine the promos we would get with CM Punk?
I mean,
and we are it would be a full-fledged war at that point. I mean, a full-fledged war. And you're not excited for that?
I agree with you. I agree with you that Punk is a needle mover. I'm not taking that away from him. If he returns to WWE at Survivor Series, this will be the third return of Phil Brooks that I've seen in the last 2 years. Like the third in 2 years. Do the math on that. Like that's a lot of it for me is like that's what's getting me is it's like, okay, I got like, yeah, it'll do a big pop. He'll have a big segment. It'll look great. He'll do what he knows how to do. But based on what we've seen the last 2 years, then it becomes all right, yeah, that's cool. Let me wait for this other shoe to drop.
I will leave you with one quote that was reported by Fightful.
Okay, we do like Fightful.
One top WWE talent told us regarding CM Punk that, quote, he wouldn't be able to pull any of his shit here. There's nobody here he could jump without getting his ass handed to him. So he's going to come in that locker room as respectful as he can be because he knows this is it. If he wants to retire on a good note in wrestling, this is it for him. That's
true.
So I think we would get Punk at his top level on his best behavior. And this is probably, a year, 6 months? Tops. Because, say what you want about Punk. He still looked decent in the ring.
Yeah, he looked fine.
And I think he could be such a value to – imagine Punk showing up on, NXT.
I know, and if it weren't for Sean already saying, yeah, he'd be welcome down here, I'd have some thoughts on that. Look, if he comes back, great, whatever. Yeah. I cannot get emotionally invested in Phil Brooks again, so stop asking.
Well, like the old Godfather quote, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, man. I want to see Punk. I want to see him again.
Anyway, whatever.
Next match.
So, no. What's the final prediction on this match, though? Who's winning?
I would still go Lashley and the Street Profits. I think they need to establish these guys. I think Bobby is poised for a big run, and I think the Street Profits need to kind of finalize this heel turn and just make it. This is the group moving forward. Do we see maybe anybody else join the Profits tonight? Because, the LWO is usually 4 members. Do we get Mello tease, or is that later on? Could we have 2 more games? I don't know.
No. I mean, not tonight. I don't necessarily see Hayes showing up tonight. It sounds like there's a larger story at NXT that should be finished first. But
we know about finishing stories in the WWE. They usually don't go very well. I'm fired up, man. I'm so excited. I am so excited for tonight.
We have been having a nice morning today.
I am so excited.
Okay. All right. Look. No, I think with LWO, I think that there's still the larger story of the friction between Santos and Ray. I mean, this is going to be the slowest of slow burns before this actually blows because they're still making a lot of money off of LWO merch. So I think that there will be some tension here. It seemed like there was a little bit of frustration tonight that hasn't necessarily boiled over to I have a problem with you, Ray. But I think that depending on how big of a shellacking they get handed tonight, that we'll start to see some issues boil to the surface.
Create a bigger divide between them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, we have Io Sky versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Io is getting tired of Bayley's shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's there. I mean, and last night during that tag match, you saw how much of Bayley is kissing her ass just to. Oh yeah, I got you. Like I'll take like here, like trying to communicate more, and I like it. It's. I mean, at this point, Damage Control just needs to go away.
Yes.
Io doesn't need them anymore. Dakota's still months away from a return. Like,
So
Ideal's great on paper.
I want to give you my initial thoughts on this match.
Sure.
My initial thoughts before I was kind of thinking about it was I would have loved to see Io versus Asuka 1-on-1. I don't understand why Charlotte's in it.
Mm.
But diving a little bit deeper into the match, Asuka's in it because she didn't get, she never lost her title, right? At Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. Charlotte's in it because it's Charlotte Flair. Io's in it because she's the champion. Io has the story with Damage Control. Asuka's going to NXT to do something that leaves one person that I don't think is going to win tonight with something to do.
And it's going to be a very massive something to do if it's indeed the case.
And we had pitched the story of her coming into NXT saying I'm the real Barbie. What about if she comes into WWE and says I'm the real Queen?
I mean,
that's Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I've been saying. Like, because I've been saying main roster, she doesn't need to stop at NXT. She just doesn't. I think that it would have made sense if they were going to debut her at No Mercy to have her go against Becky Lynch, and still she's still going against a main roster horsewoman main eventer. Like that's one thing, but out the gate, Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair. Let's be honest. Charlotte is stale as a heel, like that. Like or as a face. I apologize. I don't enjoy babyface Charlotte Flair. I just don't. And with the fanfare that Jade Cargill is getting as she's coming in, and I know that you have been back and forth on this. People are going to know who she is. Like I don't think that there's a question of that anymore. Because when's the last time that a true new signee got the fanfare that Jade Cargill did? I mean, you got Michael Cole talking about hottest free agent in wrestling, all of the news outlets that are commenting on her signing with WWE. People are going to know who she is. So for her to step in the ring with the Queen and set that up for a few months, I'm ready. Let's go.
You said who was the last one that kind of got that big news media sort of outlet? That was Gable Stevenson.
That was not a name that I was ready for.
So again, just a little context.
I was not ready for that name. Actually,
I would say
how that worked.
Man, I kind of go back and forth because I think Io retains, but I could also see Bayley costing Io and Charlotte winning, and that sets up the Jade program. Because if you want to bring her in hot as hell.
And I still think you can do that without a title.
That's fair.
It's. I think of those two stories, Io Sky versus Bayley, Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair, one of those needs a championship. And Charlotte can go on the mic. Jade can match wits with Charlotte on the mic. Like that, it's just who is the dominant athlete. I mean, they are both physical specimens in their prime. That is just going to be a who is better. That's all that needs to be. But Damage Control has not been very interesting for a very long time. And Io winning Money in the Bank and cashing in and having the help with that has what has made this story interesting again, because they had been teasing the friction. They've been teasing the split. But quite frankly, with how this story went, I don't really care about those two in a one-on-one program unless there's gold involved.
Okay.
That's just me.
No,
so my final prediction, I'm going to go Io retains.
Okay. Perfect.
What about you? What'd you say?
I think my final would say Io, yes.
Okay. Next match.
Which
Judgment
one?
Day.
It's like 3 main events.
I know. And that's what I don't know which one to save, because that's what I'm loving about this card is that it is it's a stacked card. Like every one of these matches has just high stakes that you just can't wait to see.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, let's just do tag titles. Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest taking on Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, another Strange Bedfellows tag team title match, the umpteenth that we've gotten this year. Larger story in play here.
Yeah.
Judgment Day scene taking over the Bloodline locker room. Rhea Ripley telling Paul Heyman to acknowledge her.
It was
Just
that was a good episode.
dude, it's like she was just like the confidence with which she said that, and then at the end, Heyman's just like acknowledged. Like
Yep.
she's playing 3-dimensional chess, and we're still playing checkers.
So again, when I initially looked at this match, I said, maybe Cody and Jay get the win because that's how you get them both back over to SmackDown to kind of feud with the Bloodline.
Yeah.
But they're on SmackDown anyway, so it doesn't really matter. There is no brand split. Let's stop talking about it. I would go Judgment Day still. I don't have a good idea of this one, to be honest. It could be Cody and Jay winning, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are pissed because they wanted the shot. I'm not sure. This one's a toss-up.
Yeah. So for me, this one, like, I have no problem with this match being on the card. I think that I would have a problem if Cody and Jay won it, mostly because there's been so much of this effort to showcase main event Jey Uso as a single star. So it seems reductive to put him back in a tag team title program and put tag team titles back on him. If they're really going to go, I mean, even if it is with Cody, it's still just like, if you're going to make the effort to break him away as a single star to see what he can do, I don't necessarily want to see him and another single star go for tag team gold. That's just me.
Yeah, but they're not going to have a long run. This is a couple week run, I would say.
Sure. I mean, and it could be. It's just, I don't know. I think that I would rather see Judgment Day continue to solidify this alliance. Like, JD McDonough has basically become the Sami Zayn at this point. He's not full-fledged, but he has done enough to show that he's not out to work actively against them. So continue that narrative. Let them have their run with the gold. Let them all be smiles and rainbows. They kind of need that moment of definitive unity, much like we got with Sami at War Games last year. And we could be barreling towards that again, now with the potential War Games lineup that at least I have predicted, and definitely want to hear everybody's thoughts about this in the chats. But Judgment Day versus Bloodline versus Cody and company. There is no way that Bloodline and Judgment Day will be able to coexist for very, very long. Like it last, I wouldn't hold my breath for that.
It's fair. If I had to pick a winner, I guess I'll go Judgment Day. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cody and Jay won.
Yeah, that's fair. I just want Cody's first title back to be, the big one, but whatever.
There's always side stories. You've played a role-playing game. There's always side stories.
I know. Yeah. Anyway, next up, and again, I don't know which one's going to close the show here, but it's going to be great. Seth freaking Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Final time these guys are going to mix it up, I'd imagine. I mean, this is the blow off right here, and I don't.
It's been a little bit of a weak build.
Yeah,
I think Seth's going to win. If this main events, Damian Priest is going to cash in.
Okay.
And that's why I could see them losing the tag titles and then Priest cashing in.
Okay. So you're the one playing 3D chess today.
Yes. If this main events, I think we will get a cash in, which would be our second cash in that we've seen this year, which would be pretty cool. But I don't see any way Seth loses this. I think if you were going to do a title change, it was the last PLE, kind of that shock value. I really like the Shinsuke character. I really, really do.
It only took him 7 years to get it right.
It did, but it just doesn't. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's going to happen tonight for him, and it sucks because I wish it would, but I don't think tonight is the right night to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this entire World Heavyweight Championship reign has been a bit of a mystery for me. Like I understand wanting to establish Rollins as the workhorse world champion because that brand had not had one for a very long time prior to the introduction of that belt. But I think the blurring of the lines so much of like how bad actually is your back, dude? Like I'm concerned for the person right now that it's just like is this? I mean, should this be the time for you to just kind of rest up,
Yeah.
even if you don't get surgery on it, so that you can make it to Mania? Just like take a little time to chill, like.
Well, and let's not. There's a big elephant in the room. It's the Roman shadow is still over this champion because even when Brock was champion, it wasn't like he was on the record run. Like this,
True.
Roman is still, and they're advertising Roman back next week, so that'll be exciting to
Season
see. But
premiere.
this still feels like the secondary world title, which I don't think it ever was not going to feel that way. I just I'm happy Seth is getting to do a run with a world title, but I think the Roman shadow is still heavily over this world champion as he is still the main. I mean, he's still got 4 belts or whatever he's got now. Like,
No, it's just the one.
I don't know. It's weird to say that this is the match that I am least looking forward to on the card, even though I think it will still be a great match. I think these guys are going to go out and put on a show, but this one is where I'm the most predictable, I think, with Seth.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, gut instinct. I didn't necessarily see this title changing hands here as much as I would love a Shinsuke world title run of some kind. Before it's all said and done. But
this might be the last chance.
I won't say last chance. I just think it'll be a while before we see it again. I mean, so is at the head of creative, he will find something. I think as long as continue to present him like this in the way that they have, not just in in promo delivery, the subhouse, like all of it is perfect for him because he is. In a Vince McMahon WWE, he was never a great on the mic person. He's just not. The language barrier is just there. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just in the words of a certain wise man, accentuate the positives, hide the weaknesses. That's all that Triple H has been doing here, and it's working for Nakamura. So it's like I just want him to continue to be presented like this because he's too talented to do anything else in any other way.
Who's winning in your final?
I'll say Rollins.
Yep, and don't be sad when you say it. I still think we're going to get a good match. I think it's going to be a fun match. I think Rollins wins as well.
That's fair. Yeah. Now, what will if it's not the main? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It could be. It could be the main event. Like, let's just stop trying to predict it. That's not for us to decide. But John Cena and L.A. Knight, taking on the Bloodline, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. I mean,
main event, Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Does he need a moniker though?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he does. Isn't he? Like, what is his moniker? Oh, keep talking.
Well, LA Knight definitely getting the John Cena rub here. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks of great outings and opportunities for them to mix it up. Now they're finally getting the team together. John Cena definitely has a side eye towards Hollywood, I'm sure, after this match. But this is a good use of him in this role. He's got the history with the Bloodline, and I think they're rumoring a possible Roman versus Cena match at Crown Jewel next month. So I could see Cena and Knight getting the win here. Roman's got to come back Friday, and he's going to chew him out.
Or maybe tonight.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Hey, you want to bury Collision? That's when you put Roman on. Anyway, Jimmy's name of his theme song is Born a King, so I don't know if that's his moniker, but whatever.
King Jimmy Uso? No.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of Jimmy King from Name That Movie.
Ready to Rumble.
There you go.
Yeah. one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But
I know, but
have you seen the Slim Jim giveaway? For the
no.
promotion? All right, we're gonna go over that today because we could win tickets to Survivor Series,
Okay.
and I think you and I can pull that off. I think we can. But we'll talk.
Ladies and
about
gentlemen, I don't like how he said that. I'm intrigued, but I don't like how he said it.
Well, it'll be all right. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Yes, I think Cena and LA Knight get the win. It looks like, like you said, Cena and Roman are kind of moving towards Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
Is LA Knight going to get a match with Roman before Mania? Like, could you see? Because they sometimes they do this, like at a Rumble, it's kind of like a random challenger, just to see what happens.
If I'm controlling it, if I've got the pencil, save it for Perth. Because if you're doing it specifically for that pop once LA Knight, we have been in Ford Field when that happened. Do you think Aussies who are starved for wrestling are going to do the same thing?
Well, Rumble's in Tropicana Field, so that's a large stadium as well.
I get that, but I think the international is
maybe. I don't know if Roman's on that card. We don't know.
Dwayne's definitely not on that card.
Like, I would assume Roman would definitely be on Rumble. I don't know if he'll be on Survivor Series. I don't know. But yeah, I think Cena and Knight win. This is a huge, huge, huge moment for LA Knight. They seem to be all the way behind him. I love it.
Took him long enough.
It did, but you got to sign the deal, pal, and then we'll lock you up.
Yeah,
make sure you don't go over to that other brand. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't know if this main event's. It's going to be really cool to see John Cena. I haven't seen John Cena in years.
Yeah.
See him again, which I never thought I would say, but it is going to be awesome.
A lot of people.
To see John Cena. I'm excited.
Yeah. No, I think this is going to be a very good card. It's got that takeover feel, just a handful of good matches.
100%.
So it's not going to be over bloated. It is just, I would like to have a rematch, but it wouldn't be a quality one. So, we'll just.
No, it would not.
That's what I know, dear. That's what I just said.
Who are you talking about though? Who, the challenger? Is that who you were speaking about?
Yeah, it's just.
Okay. Are you on my side now?
Horn in a match just for the sake of getting Rhea on the card to have a match would not be the best use of company time. That's all I'm saying.
Company resources. If you want to talk about that, we will go down that rabbit hole. But we'll say
no. That's not what we're doing today. That's not what we're doing today. This is a happy occasion.
It's a very happy occasion. I am so pumped to go to the show. I'm very excited. I hope everybody enjoys tonight. We are very excited. Hopefully, we have some more content coming out. Maybe you'll get some videos from us later tonight, and with maybe some live reactions as we go through this card. But very, very excited. Should be a great show. Like you said, kind of akin to an old TakeOver show where it's just 5 matches. That each match is probably going to get a lot of time to tell a story. Mm-hmm. Really, really excited. Can't wait.
Yep, the way that wrestling as God intended. Remember to hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. Tell everybody about this. 2 episodes of Stump the Smark out. We are getting ready to record another one after this, so hopefully getting one more up this weekend. Thank you so much for joining the Wrestling Junkies podcast. For the podcast that I am Mr. Cincinnati. We will talk to you guys soon.